I'm Rachel Hernandez, real estate investor turned mobile home investor and best-selling author. I make a living investing in mobile homes for cash flow for long-term passive income. After many mistakes and lessons learned, I've been able to create the kind of life where I can do the types of things I want to do, not have to do. I created the Adventures in Mobile Homes podcast to share with you what I've learned so you can spend more time with family, friends, and do things you love. Mobile home investing can help you get there. If you want to hear real stories with practical and actionable advice you can use from someone who's been in the trenches and who's still investing today to create the type of life you love, then you're in the right place. Let's get started. Well, hey there, and welcome to another episode of the Adventures in Mobile Homes podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Hernandez, aka Mobile Home Girl of AdventuresInMobileHomes.com. Thanks so much for joining me here on the 41st episode of the podcast. Now, just in case you missed it, be sure to tune in to the last episode where I talk about how you can see more of the behind the scenes of my own mobile home investing business and journey. There, I talk about how you can access more exclusive content and see more of me through video and audio to talk about what I've been up to lately, of course, with my own mobile home investing business, but also any other projects that I'm working on. Plus, I have more advice and tips for you, including videos, a private podcast, exclusive interviews with others, and some other goodies where you can't see anywhere else. So if you'd like to check it out, you can find that episode at www.adventuresinmobilehomes.com/40. Again, www.adventuresinmobilehomes.com/40. But today, I want to talk about your education and how you can learn more about getting started as a mobile home investor. And one of the first ways to start learning about something is to start reading books. So today, I'm going to talk about my personal picks for the top 10 mobile home investing books. Now, if you're just getting started and trying to educate yourself on mobile home investing, there's a lot of information out there. From blogs to articles to books to podcasts to courses. How do you go through all of this information? And what exactly do you need to learn as a mobile home investor just starting out? So today, I'm going to break it down for you and go over the top 10 mobile home investing books that I recommend that you check out if you're just getting started as a mobile home investor. Plus, I've got some bonus recommendations for you there as well. Now, I'm not just going to list these books, as that'll be kind of a waste of time and energy on my part. I'm actually going to add in some commentary on why I think these books are great for each book that I recommend and what it meant to me as a mobile home investor when I first started out. Now, it's going to be a good episode, so get your pen and your notepad ready. Be ready to take notes and learn about some books that can help you with your own mobile home investing journey. But before we get started, let's hear a word from our sponsor. Hey there, Rachel here. Have you enjoyed the show and podcast so far? Has it helped you with your own mobile home investing journey? And have you received value from it? If yes, then consider supporting the show. So, how can you show your support? Well, there's a couple of things that you can do. The first thing you can do is leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, or anywhere else the podcast can be heard. Go to www.adventuresinmobilehomes.com/podcast to see the sites and links where you can leave a review on. I'll be ever so grateful if you do. And you may even get a shout out and your review read right on the show, just for doing it. Another thing you can do is support the show and buy me a coffee. If you know me, you know how much I love coffee. If you've gotten a lot of good information out of the podcast and it has helped you as a mobile home investor, I'd love your support. Now, in the future, I'll be giving shout outs to those who support me. So if you do, that may be you. Go to www.adventuresinmobilehomes.com/support for more information on how you can show your support. Again, www.adventuresinmobilehomes.com/support. And if you want to take it a step further and receive exclusive only content, consider being a member. On the support page there, you'll find info about how you can view exclusive content, including access to new videos and blog posts, a shout out in a future episode for your support, access to video replays on my past speaking engagements if you haven't seen me speak yet, and more. Check out www.adventuresinmobilehomes.com/support to find out more. Thanks so much for continuing to listen to the podcast and for your support. Now, back to the show. Okay, first things first. Before we start, be sure you've got something to write with, as I'm going to cover a lot of things in the episode. Not just the title and authors of the books, but why I recommend them and how they've helped me. Also, I'm going to talk about how you can get started as a mobile home investor and what exactly you need to get there. Because I get it. There's a lot of information out there in the web space. So, how do you go through all of this information and dissect it? Don't worry, I've got you covered. So, are you ready to learn? Again, be sure you're taking notes, and here goes. All right, I'm going to go down the list of my picks for the top 10 mobile home investing books. So the first book I recommend is the tried and true, the original, Deals on Wheels by Lonnie Scruggs. He's the one that started it all and why I got into mobile home investing in the first place. He's considered the godfather of mobile home investing and my personal mentor. Now, when I first got started, he had the course first with the same title, Deals on Wheels, which I bought and I still have today. And I learned a lot from that course. And then, once the course was out for a while, the book finally came out. So the book goes over Lonnie's entire system of buying, selling, and financing used mobile homes for cash flow. It's required reading for anyone wanting to get into mobile home investing. And I did write a review on the book if you'd like to get more details, which I'll link up here in the show notes. All right, let's get to number 2, which is my book, Adventures in Mobile Homes, which goes into how I got started as a mobile home investor and how you can too. Now, in the book, I talk about my system and process of what's worked for me personally as a mobile home investor. Now, if you've been listening to the podcast, you probably know that I have a slightly different style and way of doing things than Lonnie did. In the beginning, I tried his techniques, which I learned in the course, and not everything worked for me. So I had to adjust, learn, and apply different techniques to see what worked and what didn't work. And I continued doing things that worked for me and stopped doing things that didn't. Now, there's actually a reader who did a video testimonial of my book on my support page if you'd like to check it out and hear what they have to say. And I'll be sure to put up a link here in the show notes if you'd like to watch the video. Okay, let's get to the third book on my top 10 mobile home investing book list. And that is Mobile Home Wealth by Zalman Velvel. Now, what I liked about this book was the content in the book. He really goes into the different ways, and not just the way Lonnie made money, of how you can make money in mobile home investing. And I will say, it's packed with a lot of information. Now, going into the book, just be aware that having all of this information can be overwhelming as a reader, as it's not just talking about one way to make money as a mobile home investor, which Lonnie covers in his Deals on Wheels book. So, know that going in. With that being said, I like it because it lays out the different ways of making money as a mobile home investor. And with that kind of information, you can then assess which way you want to go when it comes to investing in mobile homes, because you see all the different ways that you can make money in mobile home investing. Now, of course, this can be a double-edged sword, as you don't want to get overwhelmed with too much information. So you do have to take yourself out of the picture and look at it objectively. And I also wrote a book review on it as well, if you'd like to check it out. It'll be linked here in the show notes if you'd like to read more. All right, let's get to number 4 on the list of my picks for the top 10 mobile home investing books. And that is Making Money with Mobile Homes by Lonnie Scruggs, which is the second book in his series. Now, this one is pretty much a continuation of the first book, Deals on Wheels, which goes into more stories and deals Lonnie did as he progressed as a mobile home investor. And it's definitely a good read to go beyond Deals on Wheels and what you've learned there. So I do recommend it as well. And I've also wrote a book review on it, which I'll link up here in the show notes as well. Moving on, the 5th book that I recommend on my list of the top 10 mobile home investing books is Investing in Mobile Homes with Land by Tony Colella. Now, Tony's background is that he first got started by following Lonnie's system of buying, selling, and financing used mobile homes in communities, as Lonnie explains in Deals on Wheels. But after a while of doing deals in parks, Tony moved on and started doing mobile home deals on private land outside of parks. He did this because he wanted to have more control. So instead of just owning the homes when you buy them inside someone else's park, because you don't own the land, the park does, Tony wanted to own both the home and the land, which he did when he started doing these mobile home deals out on private land. So if this is something that you want to do, buy mobile homes out on private land and own both the home and the land, be sure to check out Tony's book. And of course, I've done a book review on it, which I'll link up here in the show notes as well. Okay, book number 6 on the top 10 mobile home investing books that I personally recommend is The New Investor's Guide to Owning a Mobile Home Park by Laura Cochran. Now, this book is different because it's not just about how to buy the mobile homes themselves. It's actually about buying mobile home parks. But not just any mobile home park. Smaller ones for investors who want to take less risk. Now, as I've mentioned before, right now, there's a lot of hype with buying mobile home parks. And it's to the point where a lot of real estate gurus who are talking about it and how great it is, well, they don't really mention the other side of things, in my opinion. And I keep hearing over and over and over again about how great mobile home parks can be as an investment that I had to dedicate an entire episode about it and my thoughts. And if you want to check it out, it's episode 13 of the podcast called The Truth About Mobile Home Parks, which I'll link up in the show notes as well. But aside from that, I think investing in a park can work if you know what you're getting yourself into, and if you're doing it from a smaller scale. But I will say, you do need money when buying a mobile home park and also owning and managing it. Because I've said it before, what can go wrong will go wrong. So I read the book and I really liked it, apart from what I've said about buying mobile home parks. It's very practical with realistic advice and catered more towards a smaller investor. And I also wrote a book review on it too, which I'll link up here in the show notes if you'd like to check it out. All right, let's get to number 7 on our list. And this one's a book on how to fix up and repair mobile homes, which is titled The Manual for Manufactured Mobile Home Repair and Upgrade by Mark N. Bauer. So this is a good book to have for reference, for helping you to fix up and repair mobile homes when issues come up. I personally have read the book and have it on my bookshelf. And I use it for reference when problems come up and these mobile homes need fixing up in my inventory. And I also wrote a review on the book as well, if you'd like to check it out, which I'll link up here in the show notes. Okay, let's get to number 8 on the list of the top 10 mobile home investing books. And that is Wobbly Boxes by Aaron Kinney. Now, this book also talks about buying mobile homes on land, just like Tony Colella. And it's another perspective on the subject, which I like as he's buying them with his dad. And he talks about his successes and failures buying these mobile homes on land in the book, which can give you an idea of what you're in for if you're interested in this method. So definitely check it out. And don't worry, I'll be linking up all of the books mentioned here in the show notes if you want to read more. Moving on, number 9 on my list of the top 10 mobile home investing books is Making Money Through Mobile Home Investing by Jerry Hoganson. Now, this was one of the earlier books that I read, along with Lonnie's material, when I first started out. And it's a very quick read, and it covers a lot of concerns of going into mobile home investing as someone new just starting out. I think it's a good basic book on the subject, and I wrote a review on the book, which I'll link up here if you'd like to check it out. All right, so we're on number 10 on our list, and that is Your Mobile Home by John Krieger. And this one is an energy and repair guide for manufactured housing. It's also another book that I have sitting on my bookshelf, which I do use for reference when I have projects for mobile homes needing to be fixed up. And it's pretty detailed and lengthy, but good to have as this type of information tends to be scarce. Definitely check it out and add it to your book library, especially if you're in this for the long haul. Okay, so that's my pick for the top 10 mobile home investing books. I recommend you check them out. Now, let's get to some must-have books and bonus items. First on the list is a mobile home journal. It's really important to write things down as an investor so that you can reflect on your experiences and also plan out where exactly you want to go and what direction you want to move for your mobile home investing business. And I covered this topic extensively in episode 22, The Importance of Writing Things Down. If you missed it and would like to go back and listen to it, which I'll link up here in the show notes. So definitely have a mobile home journal. And I actually have one in my bookstore, which I'll link up here. Next up on the must-have books to have as a mobile home investor is a mobile home park research notebook. Now, if you're working in parks and you need to do research on them, this workbook is going to come in handy. And here, you'll be able to record and write down information on the parks that you visit, including who you talked with, the lot rent amount, address, and phone number of the park, amenities of the park, etc. Plus, there's a space with notes, so you can write down anything and everything that you feel comes to mind while driving and visiting these parks. Now, just in case you missed it, be sure to check out episode 7 of the podcast called The Different Types of Mobile Home Parks, and episode 5, Learning Your Market for Mobile Home Investors, if you need help in this area when researching the parks that you visit. So check out the Mobile Home Park Research Notebook, which is a must-have in this business to help you record and have all the information that you gather all in one place. And I'll link it up here in the show notes if you'd like to check it out. Lastly, I've got a bonus for you. And this one is one of my books to help you get started as a mobile home investor, which is titled Conversations with Mobile Home Girl, 10 Do's and Don'ts to Get Started in Mobile Home Investing. And guess what? It's free to you as my gift for listening. Here, I'll give you my top 10 tips on what to do and not to do when just getting started as a mobile home investor. So if you'd like to check it out, go to www.adventuresofmobilehomes.com/free. Again, www.adventuresofmobilehomes.com/free. Grab your copy today. So there you have it. My picks for the top 10 mobile home investing books, if you're just getting started as a mobile home investor. As you can see, there's a lot of different types of books on the list. And I will tell you, I personally have every single book on the list, and I have read them myself. So I'm not just telling you to buy these books without my research and approval. So definitely check them out as you begin to get started on your journey as a mobile home investor. And if you have any questions about any of the books, definitely let me know. So what did you think? Did this episode help you as a mobile home investor? I hope so. If you found value with the show, consider supporting the show. I've got more details for you about how you can support the show in episode 40 of the podcast titled Behind the Scenes Mobile Home Investing, where I talk about how you can see and hear more of me and the behind the scenes of my own mobile home investing business and journey. Check it out at www.adventuresofmobilehomes.com/40. Again, www.adventuresofmobilehomes.com/40. For more information on this episode, check out the show notes where I link up some of the resources mentioned here. You can find it at www.adventuresofmobilehomes.com/41. Again, www.adventuresofmobilehomes.com/41. And if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to share it with family and friends. And be sure to follow me and subscribe. If you have some time, I'd love to hear your feedback through a short Apple Podcast or Podchaser review. Until next time, this is Rachel Hernandez, aka Mobile Home Girl of the Adventures of Mobile Homes podcast, signing off. Thanks for tuning in.